Welcome back. The Southern Africa Refugees Protection is a non-governmental organization responsible for social, legal and health protection for refugees, asylum seekers, returnees, internally displaced persons and other people of concerns in Namibia as well as its neighboring countries. In celebration of World Refugee Day, which is an important opportunity to show solidarity with refugees and of course to raise awareness of their plight, we talked to Johanna Kanini Kakolwa, the Executive Director of the Southern Africa Refugees Protection, as well as Mr. Kabwe Musafir Maklover, a consultant in refugee and economic perspective, who is also a refugee himself. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for being here. Perhaps, Ms. Kakolwa, we can start with you telling us a bit about your organization and your mission to support refugees.
Our organization, as you have mentioned, it is the Southern Africa Refugee Protection that has been abbreviated as SAP. Our mandate is to give protection to refugees, internal displaced persons, returnees, and all people of concern in Namibia and its neighboring countries. We give health protection, legal protection, and as well as social protection to refugees. And of late, we have extended our involvement with immigrations generally that have been found on the other side of the law of this country to see as well as how they are being dealt with in terms of human rights, because they have been also facing a lot of non-refoulement of that supposed to be monitored, and we offer such monitoring in terms of human rights.
What are some of the biggest challenges that refugees face today, and how does your organization address these challenges?
Refugees are being faced by a lot of challenges. One of the challenges is human resource development. As we all know that Namibia have got a reservation on Article 26 for the 1951 UN Convention that have got to do with freedom of movements. Hence the reason why we have a refugee camp where the refugees are being confided, and by exiting the refugee camp they need an exit permit in order for them to leave the camp. Hence now this comes with a lot of challenges that refugees, they need to study, they need to get involved in a lot of things in terms of developing each other, of which is not possible because they are confided and they in the camp, and they are actually excluded to know what is happening in the world, because the refugees in the bush, it does not have, as we know that it's not equipped with a lot of technologies and all that. They are quite social excluded. Yeah, that is one of the challenges.
Mr. Maklover, as I mentioned, you're a refugee yourself, and perhaps you can tell us about your journey as to how you became a refugee and some of the challenges that Ms. Kakolwa mentioned. Does it resonate with you?
Thank you for giving me a word. It's true, already refugees has got a challenge in this country, and those challenges are not concerning the constitution of Namibia, but the office bearers. So the people that are working in those offices, especially Department of Refugees, to them they don't see the need of transforming these refugees who came with many things in their minds, and to adapt the Namibian way of living, so that also they can leave behind what they came through with. But in reality, the Refugees Act implementation is not really applied in Namibia, and the refugees are suffering. Now they are starving. Imagine giving food some month, and other months there is no food, but the budget was given for the whole year. When they ask now the people in charge, where is the other month's food? No response, because there is no accountability. As a refugees, I went through many things really. I'm here, but I thank God. Also, I thank the government of Namibia to give me the opportunity to become one of the academics, because I did my undergrad at UNAM, University of Namibia. Then I continued my master's degree with University of Namibia, and everything was clear. But really, they need reforms in the refugee department, and also reform in these refugees issues in the world, because it's now politicized. Myself, I'm from DRC, and most of the refugees that are in Namibia are from DRC, that I know. And also we have a handful of refugees in Namibia, only 7,500 refugees, and Asims altogether. But the people that in charge, they cannot handle the situation with this hand of the other country. We have millions of refugees, and the things are going through. So, and sometimes with the difficulties, but in Namibia it's worse. No identification, no clarification in their way of doing things. And now we said, no, this enough is enough. We need also to come out and tell the people what is happening on the ground. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As Mr. McClover mentioned, there's about 7,500 refugees. Is that in total in Namibia, Ms. Kokolwa?
Yeah. According to the number, the statistic that was given or shared among us as stakeholders by the major stakeholders, which is the Refugee Department, other than the Ministry of Home Affairs, the amount of asylum seekers and refugees is about 7,112. Of course, there are those we believe that have not been recorded for reasons that they have been rejected, their refugee application has been rejected for, and they have been given 90 days long back, maybe 5 years, 20 years back to leave the country, but they got stuck in this country and they're hiding themselves. As a result, they don't go for profiling because they don't want either to be arrested, to be deported. We know that refugees, they existed in number of groups. We have got refugees, political asylums or political refugees. We have got refugees, maybe migrant refugees, or we have got refugees that left their country of origin because of the conflict between the tribal, or between the tribes or tribal conflicts, and those who left their countries because of natural disasters. Those are some pushing factors that makes people to become refugees. But now, if a political asylum find him or herself application that has been rejected, one will know that it will be difficult for such a person to go back to his or her country of origin, because otherwise, once she or he goes back, he will be persecuted still, or the persecution will still face him.
Right.
So that is actually one of the challenge we have.
Yeah.
Like we have been talking about the current situation among, the majority of that number, they hailed from the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where we have learned by the United Nations Security Council and people who are keen to know the political history of Africa. Like myself, I'm a political scientist. I'm very, very much eager to hear what is going on, especially in the SADC where I belong to. Currently, even the United Nations Security Council have declared the Eastern Province of Democratic Republic of Congo as a black spot and a red spot. Black spot meaning that people are wearing dark clothing, mourning on a daily basis. Red spot is that the blood is all over. There is a serious external aggression of what many people know. And now, if they reported that more than 1 million have left the country, and we are talking of Namibia today hosting only 7,112 number of refugees and asylum seekers, while we are in a SADC, and after all, more special that we are the one who are chairing the SADC organ on politics, defense and security cooperation is being chaired by our president. And we know, or we learned recently, that we had meetings for the SADC region's leaders. The one 3 weeks ago, it happened in Botswana, and last week, or rather last week, in Namibia.
In Namibia, yes.
And what have dominated the agenda was the insecurity and the conflict in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. But now we have got only rather, because among that 7,112 refugee and asylum seeker, they are not only from Congo, they are from other countries as well. But you can imagine that the number of the Congolese out from that million which is reported, how much does Namibia is hosted, and why we are rejecting them? Because currently we have got a list that all the agencies that are involved have seen that there is a list of more than nearly 500 asylum seekers, those whose application has been rejected by the government of Namibia, and they are about to be deported. The question is, where are we going to deport them?
Thank you, Ms. Kakolwa. That's a very valid question that you posed there. Of course, we know that the 20th of June is World Refugee Day, and I want to know from you, Mr. Maklover, what message you would like to share with fellow Namibians who don't maybe understand the plight of refugees. What can we as communities do better to understand the struggles of being a refugee?
Thank you. I would like to wish a good celebration refugees in the world and in Namibia, but today's celebration in our Syrian refugee camp was not good because people were not happy. First of all, even the attendance, people were already frustrated with the type of reforms that are going through with this new management, new office bearers. They're putting tough time on refugees now. It's difficult because with our 1951 Convention Act, we don't have a work permit for refugees. Refugees, they can still do some of the things and also to survive. But she's coming up. Maybe we can see that, I'm saying she because she's a lady, and we tried to approach her, but she doesn't want to. She said, this is our country, and we suffered when we were refugees. I said, my sister, you can say you suffered where you were, but me, when I came to Namibia for 23 years, I'm here in Windhoek. I did not suffer. I had my stays, and I don't even get this UN refugees food, because in the mind of people, they think that refugees is someone who's very vulnerable. What? No, the situation can come, but you can live with your wealth. You can give. It depends the way you escaped your country, because you have fear to be persecuted or those human rights violations. But when we came in this country, we were very well welcomed. But the office bearers, that they're making things now to be difficult. So today's theme of refugee celebration was hope away from home. But there is no hope. Because what the hindrance that is coming with these office bearers, there's no hope now away from home. And I tried to ask the people that were there, I said, what was now the organization, the plans, and the speech of the Commission of the Refugees? She said, we were astonished because the speech was not coherent to the theme. She spoke about women rights in a refugee camp, where the men, they are not respecting their women, and they don't take their responsibility, and they are misusing their wives and many things. But yet on here, an asylum seeker or refugees is not allowed. Asylum seeker, they are refused to form a family in a Syrian refugee camp, but the government does not know. And asylum seeker, if you want to say, no, you must get first the status is to where you can form a family. Where have you seen that? Because these love issues to forming a family does not depend on other things. People are free, but they are telling them, the courts, to not receive them when they want to form their families and all those things. This is really unbelievable. And also there is this three solutions for refugees, durable solution. They say integration, repatriation, and resettlement. So now resettlement, they should even open that door for even sending all the refugees outside, because the treatment is not nice. People are starving and stuff. Regarding this celebration, people, they said we were told they will be given 2 kgs of meat per refugee.
Thank you, Mr. Maklover. Unfortunately, we're out of time this evening, but thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Kakolwa. Thank you as well for your time this evening and being here with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have forgotten just to say that I wish the refugees a very well celebrated moment wherever they are. They should know that we love them. Some of us, we can't even live without them. So they should celebrate their day with all the blessings.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a brief break. Let's take a look at our global news roundup and we'll be right back after.